It's the third Friday of the month. You know what that means. Time for my monthly bath. Woo! I'm only kidding, my friends. It's only monthly during the winter. But since it's sweaty, swampy, and slimy summertime, it's 2 times a month. And since it is the third Friday of the month, I give to you another Mystery Science Theater video with Mystery Science Theater Volume 27. And in this collection, we got the Slime People, the Deadly Mantis, Village of the Giants, and Rocket Attack USA. So, without further ado, I present to you Mystery Science Theater Volume 27. First up is the Slime People from Season 1. Before we get to the movie, though, we get the Invention Exchange. Up first, Joe demos cartoon eyes that can pop out when a pretty lady pops on by. Speaking of popping, this can also be used as an instant Rodney Dangerfield imitation device. No respect. The Mads give us cotton candy that screams when you bite it. This may make your teeth healthier and make you lose weight because who wants to bite a sweet treat that screams in agony when you bite it? That cotton candy has a family too. Before we get to the movie, we get yet another Commander Cody short and Radar, Men from the Moon, Chapter 6, Hills of Death. And the hills are alive with the sound of death as Krog gives Garber, who names these people anyway, and Daly orders to drop a nuke on a volcano to set off natural disasters. Everyone celebrates Independence Day differently, I suppose. It is up to our cone-headed, nipple-twisting hero, Commander Cody, to save our butts from being a victim of a disastrous flick. Speaking of disasters, the movie The Slime People is a 1962 horror sci-fi about slimy subterranean creatures invading Los Angeles. Professor Galvin and his 2 daughters meet up with sports reporter Tom Gregory, where they inform him that LA has been overrun with slimy creatures. Some call them Hollywood agents. Actually, these creatures are made of real slime that comes from the sewers and out of a thick fog they devise to kill people and overrun the city. The professor finds out that salt can stop these diabolical creatures and their domination, so apparently they are overgrown slugs? I don't know. The Slime People is a visually interesting old-school sci-fi creature flick that includes a very meta, self-referential moment from Joe and the Bots in a host segment of the episode.
And all day long, they have to sit and watch reruns of bad TV shows, like Super Train or Greatest American Hero.
Oh, no, what would they eat?
It doesn't matter. You should just relax. It's just a show.
And I never met a meta moment I didn't like. And this episode gets a 3 out of 5 SOL bones. I'm sorry. Up next is Rocket Attack USA from Season 2. And you can tell it's Season 2 because Frank more in Season 2 than any other season. Before the movie, though, we get the Invention Exchange and a pretty long short from Bela Lugosi.
Foosball! So what?
Joel and the Bots give us the candy adding machine, which makes math a fun, sweet treat. You can count on it. I hate myself. The Mads go mad and give us a water polo foosball for those who want to add aquatic adventures to their foosballing around. The long short is actually a serial called The Phantom Creeps. Chapter 2, Death Stalks the Highways. Ooh, real scary. Bela Lugosi stars as Dr. Zorka, a mad scientist who wants to rule the world. It's been done to death, Bella. Dr. Z continues to avoid authorities using his invisibility belt.
He's gonna get a DWI, driving while invisible.
He also uses a mechanical spider about the size of your fist, which would make me invisible pretty quick. I hate those things. The movie Rocket Attack USA, set in the Cold War, shows Western government agents attempting to stop Russia from unleashing nuclear holocaust. Oh, Russia, can't you come up with anything new? Anyway, Spy John Manston, along with several other aides, are our only hope against nuclear war. What could go wrong? They fell, and residents of New York City have become victims of Russia's nuclear assault. Well, poopy. Okay, so it's not the funnest of MST3K movies, but we do get a funny old blind geezer in it, and he says help me pretty funny, so there's that.
Lucky one. Didn't have to see any of this.
Help me.
And if that's not enough to tickle the most fickle of ticklish taints, this is the episode that Servo gets his flat top haircut. That alone pushes this bad boy to a 2 out of 5 SOL bones. Up next, we have Village of the Giants from Season 5. Ron Howard plays a genius kid named Genius who makes a substance that causes animal growth. His sister and her boyfriend decide to make money by selling the goo. Meanwhile, Sheriff Taylor and Barney Fife complain about Aunt B's kerosene pickles. Oh, wait, that's a different thing. A bunch of rowdy teens steal the goo, eat it, and grow to the size of giants. Those teens take over the town. The teens become increasingly more and more ornery and threatening, so normal teen angst and hormones is made more threatening since these kids are now about the size of the Statue of Liberty. Eventually, they do get shrunk back down to normal size after Ron Howard, whose character is named Genius, shrinks them back down to size. At the end of the movie, some funny little people get some screen time, so it's not all about just the giants. Can you say diversity? This movie is quick-paced, quirky, and a lot of fun, and Mike and the Bots add to the experience with laugh-out-loud rips and an already hoot of a movie. This episode also gives us Mike Nelson as Torgo. I think it's one of the more underrated MST3K episodes of the series, and I give it a 5 out of 5 giant SOL bones. And finally, we get Deadly Mantis from Season 8. Scientists and an archaeologist discover remains of a prehistoric mantis claw. A giant mantis thaws from the ice and makes Eskimo pies out of folks in Alaska. The mantis wreaks havoc all over various towns and cities, including New York City, as if it didn't have enough problems during the Russia rocket attack, and Washington, D.C. Yeah, get those politician giant manty. A scientist and a group of military men, including a horny Donnie Most look-alike, are on a mission to stop the praying mantis from preying on any more people. See what I did there? In the end, the giant mantis is trapped in a tunnel and meets his maker as the scientist and military gang up on him. So this is the thanks he gets for attacking Washington, D.C.? How rude. I thought he was a hero. The movie is dull as dirt and relentlessly talky for about the first hour, but it springs to life once the giant mantis springs to life and goes on a killing spree. I was almost rooting for him because the people bored me half to death in the first half of the movie. Expect plenty of great mantis puns from Mike and the Bots in this episode, too.
More dangerous. We better get going.
But I got a mantis in my panties. You see this? Lord, I've tried to be a good mantis. I've prayed.
Mike J. Nelson also pulls double duty as he appears as Peanut in this episode. And the Deadly Mantis gets a 3 out of 5 deadly SOL bones. MST3K Volume 27 gets a 13 out of 20 SOL bones. Well, that about does it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and please like, sub, and share. I've been Preston E. Garrison, and I'm out of here.
Help me.